welcome back to another speed build. What? Hey everyone, welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build video. I don't know why I completely messed that up. I should be knowing how to do my own intro by now. But anyways, today I'm gonna be building this New York high street that originally was supposed to come out last week, but everyone knows what it's like on a holiday week, on a Christmas week. And then after doing everything for actual Christmas day itself, I was just like, I was just tuned out. I was like, you know what? You know what I need to do? I need to take a break because my January is going to be busy. My 2025 is going to be a busy year. So I need to give myself a little bit of a break before I go all in, as I will be doing when we hit the new year. So technically this should have come out on Monday, so that on Wednesday I could actually do my new year build, but I don't think I'm going to be uploading another video until Friday. So there's that. And I've been wanting to change my style a little bit because I'm going to be having such a busy year. I'm not going to be able to do as many builds as I normally do, so it's going to be around about minimum one video a week. So I'm not going to completely abandon you guys because I really do like building, so I will be doing a minimum of one building per week. But if I do find the time, I'll try and do two, like one build I really want to do and a smaller one on the side. But at minimum I'm going to be trying to do one build per week, and since I'm only going to be able to restrict myself into doing one build, I thought that I'm just going to really go all in exactly what I want to do. And it's not that I haven't been doing what I want to do, because I have quite a bit, but I want to do it more central focused on just what I'm interested in at the moment, or what I've been looking at and stuff. Because normally what I do is I do a bit of that, but then I mix it in with what's currently trending in the Sims community, because it's been a lot of build my channel, and I'm still going to be building my channel, but I also just want to focus more on just what I'm interested in that particular moment rather than anything else. So that's just basically what's on the agenda of my list of what I really want to do in the new year. And hopefully this will allow me, because what I've noticed is that a lot of the builds that a lot of the feelings, this is going to be a very reflective type of video, but it's what I can do for the last video of 2024. But a lot of things that I've been thinking of regarding my builds, I've been just constantly thinking, I've been really what's the word, I've been feeling really proud, but then really disappointed, because it's I'm not necessarily doing 100% what I want to do. I'm doing 80%, and then if I don't get the response I'm getting sad. And I don't get that with a lot of other videos. A lot of other videos I could get I don't know, 10 viewers even, and I'll be really satisfied because I did a build I wanted to do. So that's what that's the type of mentality I'm trying to move myself away from, because that can be very damaging. So I'm just trying to keep on with my ideas. So if I've got an idea that I think is going to be a bit obscure and maybe not as popular as I would have assumed it to be, I'm still gonna do it, because at the end of the day I'll feel so satisfied about it. And I wanted to do a 2024 rundown of my favorite builds of this year, but then I realized I'm barely getting this build out, so I really should focus more on what I want to do rather than what I feel like I'm obligated to do. And it's not because of you guys, it's not an obligation because of you guys never make me feel as if I'm obligated to do certain things. It's myself, it's my mind. I get so caught up within myself and I end up losing what my initial initiative was as I continue going through this journey. So what really happens, and I do this not just in The Sims, I do this with everything actually. I do this with, what do I do this with? I did this with during university when I was doing my undergraduate. I started off doing things that I really enjoyed and really liked and really appreciated, but then as I started getting the scores in and the marks and the feedback from the lecturers, I would just keep pushing myself into doing things that I know would best reflect them but not reflect me necessarily. And this can apply in certain ways, because certain situations you kind of do need to go off of feedback. Like, for example, recipes. If someone's saying this tastes like dirt, you need to know that, okay, maybe I need to change this up so it doesn't taste like dirt anymore. But the problem is, you know what, I'll say this in a simple and concise way. I was trying to fix a formula that wasn't broken. It just wasn't maybe everyone's everyone's cup of tea, but it was not a broken formula. It was something that did work. It's just I kept trying to chase after the marks and the feedback and the good and positive reviews and everything like that, and I just kind of lost myself in it. And that's what I did during university. So you can imagine how it is on a larger scale when you're doing it through a streaming platform, because this is the first time I've ever really had to do anything like this. I've never had to create content and get such direct feedback the way that I do with this channel. It's been so eye-opening and amazing, and this was like my first full year of doing content creation. So it was, I don't know, I look back at it and I just kind of like, I feel really happy. I feel really happy with what I did in 2024. So I'm gonna try my best to like go over every single thing that I just really appreciate and liked that I did, as well as talk about the build. I won't ignore the build. I will talk about it, don't worry. But yeah. So what I can think of, obviously, number one, top of anything, I will always talk about this as my all-time favorite build of all time that I've ever done. It is the Gotham build. I am absolutely obsessed with that build, and as I am back on my Batman, Bat Family kind of fandom, Bat Family kind of like stitch that I'm in. It's not stitch, it's stick. No, it's not that. What is it? Oh, I forgot it. It's fine. It's whatever. But I'm really like obsessed with the Batman cinematic universe again, even the comics, but more the cinematic universe. And because of that, I've just been thinking about Gotham that I built just continuously and thinking that really was a great build. I really love that. Yes, there were issues and areas that I could improve on. For example, the wall heights were very tall, but I had to do that to create that really big, vast landscape of New York City, because I think Gotham is inspired off of New York. And there was also issues in terms of there was multi-level parking, but if you looked at it, the realism kind of vanished, just because there was no way on earth you were going to be actually able to park your cars in a multi-level format, because there wasn't actually areas where your car would go in. They were just kind of like, it looked like the different levels looked like your cars would just spawn in. Yeah, I'll say those were the biggest issues, but beyond that, I really liked it. I liked the police office, I loved the hospital, I loved the club, even though you didn't get to see the club because my game mouse glitches when I go into basement. I love the coffee area, and and I love the rooftops and the helicopter. I loved everything about it. It is one of my all-time favorite builds I have ever done, and I'm incredibly proud of that. And hopefully in 2025 I can stop talking about it, but you never know. Might end up building Metropolis, and then you'll just have to tell me to shut up forever, because if I build Metropolis, I will not shut up for a very, very long time. But or if I build, like, I don't know, like the Watchtower or something like that, like where the Justice League is at, because even though I'm really obsessed with things to do with like Batman and the Bat Family specifically, I love Found Family. And when I say the Bat Family, you probably think about the comics. Then Batman, Bruce Wayne's not the greatest. No, it's the fan fiction version. I'm not diving too deep into the canon version, because I will start crying as soon as I hear about Jason Todd. So I dwell in the fan fiction space of the Bat Family and just love hearing about. There is something, I think I've talked about it before, but there is something just so great about reading or seeing something to do with a child that adopts a parent. Because I know sometimes in Found Family, a lot of the times it is a parent adopting a child. So it's like, you're my kid, or you're my son, you're my daughter, all those kinds of things. But I love it when it's vice versa, when the kid is like, you're my dad, or you're my mom. Like, you have treated me in a way that no one has ever done before, and you've taken me on, and I am now offering you to be my parent. And I think I just love that so much. So like little things that only happens in the stuff I read regarding the Bat family is like they always call him Bruce, and I love that. But the occasional time they say, yeah, but that's my dad. Like, they'll call him Bruce to his face, but they'll be like, yeah, that's my dad on the outskirts. And I really just love that whole dynamic. So that's what I say. I really love it. But I went on a bit of a tangent, even though I really, really, really love God, why am I saying a lot? I'm struggling. It's because my chest is slightly on fire. Because I'm not gonna speak. I don't want to speak a kid into existence. I don't want to manifest it, but I do feel as if I'm borderline developing some sort of cold. So I'm gonna be drinking a lot of lemon tea and honey, so I don't, because like I said, 2025 is gonna be busy from the jump, and I do not want to develop anything that can cause me issues. That's also why my voice is a little bit, I don't know, scratchy, because it feels very, very scratchy. But yeah, even though I love all things to do with Batman, and I'm really obsessed with the Bat family and everyone, specifically my favorite member of the Bat family is Dick Grayson, also known as Nightwing. I absolutely love him, but I would say that my favorite superhero of all time and in the DC universe is Superman. I love Superman so much. So you can imagine my excitement when I saw the new Superman trailer, because I will love Superman in all forms and all formats. I absolutely adore him. Obviously, I'll say my favorite Superman is similar to like my favorite Doctor. It's always going to be the person that introduced me into the fandom. So like my favorite Doctor will always be Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor, because that's the Doctor I came into Doctor Who watching. I was like 9, and then I saw him, and then I was like, I'm really interested in this show. And the same thing with Superman and Henry Cavill. I always like Henry Cavill, Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice, Justice League, all of those kinds of like that specific era. I'll always love the Superman from that era, just because that's the one that was introduced to me. But I can be appreciative to all the other ones, including the new one. The new one just seems really different. I feel like they've gotten younger, because even the Batman, we have who I was gonna call him Cedric. That's not his name. What is his name? He was in Tenet, which is one of my favorite films of all time. Robert Pattinson, I think. Yes, and even him as Batman, he's quite young, so I feel like they're making them younger. Which I have an off-the-cuff kind of opinion regarding the DC superheroes. So this might get some of you to be like, no, that is such an off-the-cuff opinion. But I have to say, I'm not going to say this is like purely stylistic or storytelling wise or even acting, because again, I do feel like there's elements of me having been introduced to the fandom because of this particular actor that I have such a likeness towards him. Is I really do like Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne. I'm not too sure about Batman, but I really do love Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, because when I think of Bruce Wayne, I do think of Ben Affleck. With I was gonna call him Christopher Nolan. It's Christopher Nolan's films, but that's not who plays Batman. Oh, I'm forgetting everyone's name today. He plays American Psycho as well. He is British, his name is, and it's gone. I know you guys are probably going to comment, but I promise you that as soon as I finish this recording, his name is going to pop up in my head, so don't even worry about that. I know who I'm talking about though, but the Dark Knight's Batman, I would say that is a stellar Batman. If I've ever seen a Batman before in my life, that is stellar Batman. And I'll say regarding storytelling wise, I would say the Dark Knight entire trilogy and everything going on over there, that is completely like better than what goes on with Ben Affleck's and Henry Cavill's. But I have an appreciation towards them because they brought me into the fandom, and I'll just say purely on aesthetics, they just give me the characters. They are Clark Kent, they are Bruce Wayne. I don't know about Superman and Batman, but Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne, those actors just are perfect for me. But yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, that was a really long tangent just to talk about how I really love my Gotham build. But I think I'm gonna go into my next one, but just real quickly because I can see that in the mirror that I am finishing, I'm getting closer to finishing this portion of the build. What I'm building at the moment, this first building in this high street, this is an emporium, I believe. It's a basically almost like a Bath and Body Works, or in the UK we have Lush. I know you have that in America, but we mainly have Lush. We also had Body Works in the UK. I don't know if it's too much of a thing. I know all the ones near my area have shut down, but it's like just a place where you go for like all your beauty and your health and your soap stuff and all of those kinds of things. So I know there's liquor everywhere, but there's supposed to be like little like jars full of like scented soaps and stuff to put in your hair and everything like that. And I just really, I don't know, I just wanted a build that's very like a mix between like grass and greenery and then soaps and lighting that kind of feels like a cafe and lighting and everything. Like the top level that I do for this build, this specific section, is a place where you can just get like your health juices and like start drinking them on the level and just watch the city of San MYSHUNO. And I just feel like it's such a vibe. And you know what, I know this was supposed to come out last week, but I do think it's a good idea that I did end up putting it out on New Year's Eve, just because I think a lot of people think of New Year's Eve and they think of Times Square ball drop. And yeah, so I think it kind of makes sense. Like you can imagine yourself standing here and then like turning over to look at Times Square and just seeing the ball drop for the new year. So like I guess it's kind of a vibe in that way. But yeah, that's what I was building. And now I'm on to the bookstore, because I will never ever build anything that is like multi-stores, shopping malls, anything that has like multiple stores, and not put a bookstore in there. It's a must. It's a must. But yeah, another build that I'm really appreciative that I ended up making and really happy and satisfied with is the Zimbabwean street. If you guys didn't know, I went to Zimbabwe this year for a month, and this is the first ever time I've gone to Zimbabwe with the mindset that every single thing I see, I could potentially build this in The Sims. And I really went into the holiday this time and was just thinking, oh, this looks so beautiful, or I could create this, or I couldn't create that, and stuff like that. And I still have so many more build ideas regarding my trip to Zimbabwe, but I would say that like there was like the pinnacle part was I was staying a lot of the time with my dad's side and my dad's grandmother's side, which is called my Google. And I probably said that in the most British accent ever. The comments. But yeah, I was staying over with my grandmother's side, which is my Google. And what was I doing? And I was just looking at everything that goes on in that area. This is like a very pinnacle area for my dad and my family, and I was just looking at what goes on with it, and I was looking at the architecture, and I was just like, oh, this is like very specific to Zimbabwe in my opinion, because I've made a sub-Saharan African build also this year, but that was more specifically like towards countries like Angola, Mozambique, South Africa. Like it could have been anywhere within sub-Saharan Africa just because of the way it was formatted. But when I made that Zimbabwean street, I was taking literal elements that I saw whilst I was in Zimbabwe. So for example, there were things such as tuk shops. I took tuk shops into account when I was making it. That is what those grey little small buildings with the gates in the front were. This is like the version of a corner shop, but even smaller. Like you just go there and it's almost like a stall, and you can get like crisps and mayonnaise and sometimes yogurt, and you can get this really good fermented drink, which is which I don't even know how to describe it, but it's a fermented drink utilizing, oh God, I can't say it because of my accent. It's just it's just gonna butcher it. But there's this meal, this cornmeal, this wheat meal that, no, it's cornmeal. Yeah, it is corn. It's maize. It's maize meal. That's what it is. There's this maize meal we use to make what is our, I guess you would call it a swallow, but it's not really a swallow. You need to chew that or you will die. We call it sadza, and basically that is what we use to eat with relish. And it's the stuff that makes that you ferment and then you can drink it, and it's like the nicest drink ever. It's like it like hits every single like flavor, like taste bud you have in your mouth, and it's just such a really good drink. And you can get that from the tuk shops as well. Like I think I was drinking it like a madman. Like it was every day. It was every day. Every day that. And then there's also this other drink that I absolutely love, which is called Cascade. And there was this flavor called bao. It's like a very sour fruit, and it kind of tasted like the fermented drink as well, and it was also really good. But my favorite Cascade drink is tropical, and basically what Cascade is a mixture of fruit juice and dairy milk together, but it's not a milkshake. If you're thinking of milkshake, it's not that. Like, search it if you can. And I don't know if there's any other company that does a drink like that, but it's just so good. Again, it's just like the flavor just hits certain taste buds that it unlocks new flavors you've never thought of before. But that also just could be nostalgia, so I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, that's what they would sell at the tuk shop, so that's what I had in mind over when I was building that. And then for the actual buildings themselves, I think I built 5 on that street, and I made sure they had big gates because that's a big thing within Zimbabwe, to have big gates. They also made sure to have different floor plans, like how you enter the house. Sometimes you enter the house in a very specific area that you look at the house and you're like, oh, I just walked through the front door. But no, if you look at it, actually you have to go all the way around the house, and that's where the front door is. I made sure to include a lot of agriculture within that build, because a lot of people do just end up making their own greens and stuff like that, and their own tomatoes and stuff. Like, I know every single time I go to Zimbabwe around June, it's always tomatoes, dates, tomatoes, veg, like collard greens, almost spinach, onions, watermelon occasionally, sometimes guava if you really like look for it, and if you go deep into the villages. But like, everyone just kind of grows their own veg, so I made sure to include that, because sometimes they'll just go to the front of the house and sell it that way. And yeah, I really liked how that came out. It really had the vibes of Zimbabwe, so I'm really proud of that build. And I think the last build that I was just extremely happy with making was, again, I've only mentioned like multi-residential builds, which is so bad, but I think the last build that I was really proud of me creating this year, like, there's a lot, but I'll say the last build. And you're probably thinking, you're gonna say the castle. It actually is in the castle. Surprisingly, it's not the castle. It's not even the lodge. The lodge took a lot of effort, and I feel a lot of pain regarding that. But it's actually the Yorkshire Dale village. I really loved that Yorkshire Dale village. I got a little inspo from Harry Potter characters and things like that, and I would go more into it. But as you can see, we're on the screenshots, and if you're asking why you did screenshots again, this is 2 videos in a row. My game's really laggy at the moment, so I don't know what to do. So it's like, I borderline can suffer at the start, but to do an actual like tour, it's really difficult at the moment. But yeah, it's been an amazing year, and I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you sticking by me, watching my stuff, supporting me. I know I've been the worst at replying to comments, but I've just been doing so many other things on the side. I've just been trying to keep the main focus of uploading the content and then doing everything else on the side. But yeah, thank you so much for being so patient with me, giving me a really great 2024. So many great things have come out of this year, mainly from like November onwards, which is crazy because the first 10 years I was crying all the time. The first 10 months I was crying all the time. But yeah, it's been a really great year, and I appreciate all of you. So I can't wait to see you guys in the next year. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but if you don't want to, that's also okay. I appreciate you staying this long and listening to all of my ramblings. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below. I'll read all of your comments, the more the merrier, and I'll see you guys in the next next video. Happy New Year! And goodbye!